So you said something earlier, and oh, it was around self-care, I think, and how um sometimes we do this kind of we experience this quantum touch, we realize that something is going on relating to us not looking after ourselves. So, how do we then, in your opinion, develop the positive habit of doing something good for ourselves or whatever it is that we need to start doing? Like I speak to, and you do EFT as well. Like I speak to a lot of people who do really interesting things, and there's like I've got so many little nuggets of different people of, oh, I could do that practice. I could integrate that into my life. I could integrate that, but I don't do it. Or I
Yeah.
do it for a week and then I stop. So how do we integrate some of this stuff? How do we create a positive habit, do you think?
Yeah. This is like the most work I do with
Oh,
clients.
really?
Yeah. Like sort a lot of limiting beliefs or why don't I do? I believe we all have different parts in us. And these parts have needs, and these parts sometimes got stuck somewhere, like also in a child work.
Yes.
And if you, from your conscious mind, you think, I should do that. And then there is a part inside of you that feels, I don't deserve that. It's not safe. Safety is showing up really often when I work with clients. They don't feel safe moving forwards and they all have dreams. They want to change career. They want to build their own business. They want um, to show up differently. And then they feel it's not safe, though we often do like parts work to integrate these parts so they all are aligned with the goal that we have. Um, and often we as humans, we are, or our brains are wired to stay with what we know.
Yes.
And sometimes it's really weird, um, women in abusive relationships, they stay because this is what they know, and what they know is comfortable. And we often have difficulties to go somewhere that we don't know, but maybe it's better. But we stay. And this is how our brains are wired. We stay with what we know, what's comfortable, and like the comfort zone, it's so, yeah. So we stay in our comfort zone, even if we could be in a better place, but this is what we don't know. And often when we change and when we want to go there, then the energies move in a different way through our bodies, and in the um, first it's often uncomfortable. We all want to, oh, we feel better. We have a session and then, oh, I feel so much better. And sometimes it is. And sometimes you are a bit grumpy the next day because it's just the energies move in a different way. And this can be uncomfortable at first. And um, I also often think that we are impatient and that we want too much. We expect too much. We all know these people who do so much. They achieve so much, and um, actually, I think the best way to move forward is in tiny steps, in little steps, but really sticking to it and stay with it and create changes that you can really stick with. So, when you every day you brush your teeth. So, what if you um, commit to do a round of tapping in the morning or do one yoga pose when you finish brushing your teeth? So, if we anchor it to something that we already do,
Yeah.
this is really helpful. And do this and do it over a certain time, like 21 days. it takes to change a habit, or 28 days it better. And if you do it for 40 days, then you know, okay, I'll stick with it. So, and focus on one. Sometimes we feel like, oh, you're so motivated. I've been to a workshop and you heard something, oh, I will do that and I will do that. And then half a year later, you feel like, oh, I didn't do anything. And this is also something we tell ourselves, like, oh, yeah, I don't do it. I don't stick with it. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't,
Yeah.
who doesn't do that in the long run. But what if you changed your thinking? And this is about these sort of baby steps, like, okay, I will do one thing and I will prove myself, oh, I did it. Like I did it for 21 days, and then, oh, maybe I can adjust something else, like a morning routine. Let's install something and do something that is really easy. Start with something that is easy for you, and then you can say, okay, I have a morning routine. Now I can install an evening routine, and actually I like it. And then oh, what if I did something like in the afternoon with my coffee break, or whatever you do, and then it becomes a habit and becomes more natural.
I
And
think it hits on
sometimes,
something.
yeah,
I think it hits on something really important there around it not always feeling safe to change. So
yeah,
how do we convince ourselves if there's part of us that knows? So I think that this links with some like money mindset stuff. You
yeah,
know, like when part of us knows that we want more abundance in our lives, or I want more abundance in my life. I want to have an income that means that I can do the house up, for instance. Um, and I know cognitively that I've got the skills, I'm good enough, I'm all of that kind of stuff. But actually, that to be the person that can go, yeah, I'm just gonna get the house done up, and I'll just whatever, and then I'll just go on holiday while that's happening because I can afford that. To be that person is such a big change
yeah,
that actually that's frightening on
yeah,
some level because I don't know who she is. So then to do the things that I need to do to be that person, there's an element that fear is holding me back.
yeah.
How do we
Um,
convince ourselves we're safe?
so the one thing is, when the step is too big, you cannot imagine that, or you cannot feel into that. When you never go on holiday, you cannot imagine, oh, I travel 4 times a year, and I just go into the most expensive hotels. This is, you can't really imagine that. Um, and so what if you change like a little bit, and um, when we're going one way and you make little adjustments, then in the long run you end up at a different place. So I really um, love the idea of making this small changes, but really consistent.
And they're headed in a direction. Is
Yes, it's like a train, when you go this way, you know where you will end up. But when you change, and then it's not a big change in the moment, but like over 10 years. And we all overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 3 years. So just allow yourself more time. And with money, actually, I work a lot on money and money mindset, and um, making more money, creating money. And there is always this part of not feeling safe. It's not okay. And it's also like judgment. What do you think about rich people? Are they good guys, and they share their wealth and they give to others?
Well,
Uh,
not in most children's books. In most children's books, the
yeah,
rich one's the bad guy.
yeah. Yeah. And this is, yeah, in children's book. And you learned this in childhood, that the rich people are um, greedy, or they don't give of their wealth. And often the poor guy, it's like the one who gets along and he's happy. And so this is an image we have, and it's often about safety, what happens to rich people. Um, people want to take money away from you. You cannot trust people. You don't have friends. You don't know who are your real friends. And so when it's about safety, it's interesting to go into your childhood stories. What have you learned about money? What is in your family story? What have your ancestors experienced? What about your parents? Did they argue about money? Did they always have enough money? What did they say is a lot of money? Maybe they lost money, and with a war history here in Germany, it's often people lost a lot, or our ancestors lost a lot, and this is in our bodies, it's in our DNA. So we feel like if you have something, you lose it, and this is so painful. So actually, your body, your energy system um, is keeping you safe from experiencing this loss. So what you don't have, you can't lose. So this is often showing up.
Mm.
And you can go into these parts work and look like, okay, what do you think about money? What are your beliefs about rich people? What are your beliefs about, yeah, money itself? And in the end, money is just an energy, and it's an amplifier, like whatever is. And when you're a good person and you have more money, you can do so much good in this world with your money. And if you're like a bad person, or we all have our parts, but if you want, yeah. So actually it amplifies what you have.
I'm thinking about quite a few people that I work with because I'm a psychotherapist, and I work with people, well, various different things, but a couple of things in my head is binge eating and hoarding. And that kind of, what would those, almost like, who would I be if I lost the weight? Who would I
Yeah.
be if I had an organized house?
Yeah.
That is so alien
Yeah.
that actually it's safer to stay
Yeah.
in a place that they think that they don't want to be because
Yeah.
part of them wants it.
Yeah. And yeah, with money, how would it really be to have so much money? And again, it's like what we're used to. You're used to um not have money, or just have a little money, and often we're also used to struggle with money. And when this is like your comfort zone, we struggle with money. um and maybe as a child, your parents always struggled with money, and they always had to make ends meet, and now you feel like, oh, I just I'm a magnet to abundance. And uh, and then if it would really work, you would feel like, I no longer fit in that family.
Yeah.
I'm no you know I'm there is distance between my parents and I, and so you don't allow yourself to be that. And often it's about worth, self-worth. And what did you experience as a child? Did you, like, I have a wish, I want a book, I want a bike, I want a horse, I want a pony, and children want these things. They want a pony, and then, no, you're greedy, or this is too much.
Yeah.
And as a little, I always wanted a pony or a horse or a cat, and when you don't get it, like, this is not for me. This is not for me. And so this is not for me. And you feel like, no, this is for others. Or maybe money was spent on your siblings, or your mother spent a lot of money, but it wasn't for you. She could express her wishes and could buy things, but not for you. So this is all kinds of stories.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if we're really wanting to be integrated and wholeheartedly making these changes, we need to find out about the stories that might start to
Yeah.
step in
Yeah,
them.
really dive into that. And also with weight, we all want to be attractive and good looking. Yeah, but then you get attention from men. And do you want that? And this is something that is often holding back, like unconsciously. And um, I love this experiencing what's behind it. You know what you want, and then it's not working, and why it's not working, and exploring that. And sometimes it's quick, and sometimes it takes time. But it's so interesting and so rewarding to dive into the stories, and you learn so much about yourself. And when you bring these unconscious beliefs to the surface, then you can change them, you can deal with them, or oh, I know what's going on, and you can try to tune into, oh, what if I try to be that different person just for a day? I try to be an abundant person, or what do that feel like? Would that person think? Would they
Just
think I
for a
cannot
day.
afford that? Or and to tune into that and change the energy around it. And often it's connected to certain memories, to certain beliefs, to certain thoughts. And then we can change the energy around that, work around or release the charge around that memory. And then you can change. And then it's easy because the energy is no longer blocked.
I like the idea of being that person just for a day and see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually be a bit playful, and often around money, money feels so heavy, and there's always a lack of money, and so I don't know if this is a German story, but I think it's really often heavy when people talk about money. So you don't talk about money at all, and then it's often heavy and always this lack, um and when you yeah, open up and be a bit more creative, more playful, then it's easier to change that.
Fabulous. And that's really good advice. So we could talk for hours. Um, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with the viewers?
Um, I always want my clients to empower them so they know um, they can they can change, and they can change for the better. And if they start um, tuning into these energies and allow themselves to be a bit playful and just say, okay, I'll see what happens, that um, their life can change for the better, and that they don't need to suffer. So many people come to me with pain and with all kinds of aches, and you don't need to suffer. If you are courageous enough to look inside your energy system, like what experience do you have, what beliefs do you have, and then we can change them like step by step, and it can be gentle. This is nothing like eruptive, and you don't have to be afraid. And this is what often comes up, that people are afraid, especially around anger. Like, what if I never expressed my anger, especially women, I never expressed my anger, and what if everything comes out at
Mm.
once? And um I really want to encourage them we can go step by step. We can go slow. We can go gentle. Um, you don't need to be afraid of what's coming up. And, in the end, you already feel everything that is inside of you. You feel it. You feel it in your body, or you feel it in your emotions. And if we bring it to the surface, then we can look at it like consciously, and we can change it. We can be aware of it. And emotions want to be felt. So if we allow ourselves to feel that, and we can always choose to which extent, like how much do we want to feel, and when it's enough, and next time there is a next session, there is another day. So really going gentle, and you don't need to suffer, and I think it's our birthright to thrive and to
Oh,
be full of energy, and to and I love the like flowers. We're here to bloom, and we're here to grow, and to be expansive. And um, for me, this is a journey of growth, and not only get rid of pain, but to really grow in like, what do I grow into?
I love that. It's our birthright to thrive. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel, for having me.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure.